Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how a brand new tech product, CodeCraftMD, actually got launched. We're going to look at the very specific problem it was built to solve, the super elegant solution it offers, and, most importantly, the exact strategic playbook they used to bring it to market right from day one. So let's dive in. This quote, this is it. This is the emotional heart of the entire story. It's the hook, right? The core pain point that every single medical professional gets immediately. This was never just about software. It's about a mission to give physicians back their time, their energy, and their focus. All right, so first things first, why? Why does a tool like this even need to exist? Well, it all comes down to this massive, kind of hidden burden that's placed on doctors and their staff every single day. And get a load of this number. Some studies show that doctors can spend up to 15 hours a week on administrative tasks like billing. I mean, think about that. That's almost 2 full workdays just swallowed by paperwork instead of being spent where it actually matters, with patients. And look, this isn't just some minor annoyance. This kind of overload has really serious consequences. We're talking about endless coding errors, which leads straight to rejected insurance claims. And what does that mean? Lost revenue for the practice. But on a human level, it's a huge contributor to physician burnout.
So, you've got this huge, frustrating problem. And what happens when smart people get really frustrated? Yep, they innovate. This is where the story pivots from the problem to a really elegant tech-driven solution.
So, say hello to CodeCraftMD. At its core, it's an AI-powered assistant built for this one specific task. The promise is incredibly simple. Take the detailed notes a doctor is already writing anyway, and automatically turn them into the clean, perfectly coded summaries that you need for billing.
And the best part? Look how simple this is. There's no complicated software to learn. A doctor just pastes their note, the AI does all the heavy lifting, finding the right codes, building the summary, and boom, they get a billing sheet that's ready to go. The doctor always stays in control, but all that tedious work just gets automated away.
Okay, so we've got a killer product that solves a real-world problem. But how do you actually get it into the hands of busy doctors? Let's break down the go-to-market strategy. This right here, this is the absolute key. A successful launch isn't just about features and functions. It's about the narrative. The whole strategy for CodeCraftMD was to launch a compelling story from the very beginning, a physician solving a problem for other physicians. That approach instantly builds a level of trust and credibility that some generic software pitch could just never achieve. Now let's dig into the marketing mix. You'll see they leaned hard into free organic marketing. And you might be asking, why? Well, for a professional audience like doctors, trust is everything. Organic growth, through valuable content and actually talking to people in their communities, that builds trust authentically. That was the main engine. Paid ads were in the mix, but they were used really sparingly, more like a selective amplifier to boost key messages, not as the main driver. And here's where you can see that story come to life. The messaging wasn't some generic corporate speak. It was real. On LinkedIn, which is a professional network, they led with that powerful shared pain point we saw earlier. On X, it was more direct, a personal story from the founder. It's relatable, it's focused on the problem, and it builds instant credibility. Now, this didn't just happen by accident. There was a clear, week-by-week game plan. Notice the flow here? It's so logical. Week 1, you build your foundation, a solid website, social pages. Week 2, you start putting out valuable content. Share the founder's story in the places your audience hangs out. Week 3 is all about direct outreach, getting that crucial feedback. And then week 4, you amplify what's working. It's a focused, methodical sprint designed to build real momentum. Of course, a plan is just a piece of paper without people to make it happen. But here's the thing. A startup doesn't need some massive, expensive in-house team. Let's look at the lean, freelance approach they took. Check this out. For just over $1,000 a month, they built a lean, mean digital machine, a social media manager to stay visible, a content writer to build authority and trust, and a video editor for those super important demo clips. It's an incredibly smart and efficient way to get expert help without the crazy overhead of full-time hires. So you've got the plan, you've got the team, but how do you know if any of this is actually working? Let's talk about the key metrics they've focused on for that all-important first month. And this is such an important mindset shift for anyone launching something new.
The goal wasn't to be perfect or to have thousands of paying customers on day one. The real objective was to build momentum, to prove the concept, get feedback, and just start a conversation in the market. First up, website visitors. The goal was to get over 1,000 people to the site in the first month. And that's not just a vanity number. That's the top of your funnel. It's the baseline that proves your message is actually reaching people and getting them curious. Okay, so from that traffic, the next goal was to capture over 100 email signups. Now, these people aren't just visitors anymore. They're warm leads. They've actually raised their hand and said, hey, tell me more, which shows a much deeper level of interest. And finally, we get to the real gold, getting 25 beta users. These are the early adopters, right? The pioneers who are going to give you that honest, nitty-gritty, real-world feedback you desperately need to make the product even better. This is where the idea gets battle-tested. So, when you boil it all down, the entire launch strategy really stands on these 4 pillars. First, build authority by telling your authentic story as an expert. Second, engage with your community where they already are. Third, create genuinely valuable content, not just ads. And fourth, have a clear but gentle call to action. In this case, getting people to the free trial. You know, when you really look at this, the launch wasn't about a massive budget or a huge corporate team. It was about having a smart, focused, story-driven strategy. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What pressing problems in your own field could be solved and launched with a playbook just like this one?